Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you here today. We are saddened by the news of Mean Gene Okerlund passing away. He was easily one of the best. I was gonna call him a commentator, but he was more of like I don't even know really what you call him. He's basically like the guy that would interview people on the shows. He would sort of hold the microphone for the wrestlers as they were going through their promos, whether they were face-to-face promos or just sort of calling somebody out. I can remember him being, one of the guys up on stage for a lot of the historic, memories that you have back in the day through WWF, WCW, interviewing people on the stage, before or after matches. He was one of the first guys that was stolen from up out of Minnesota when Vince started doing the takeover of all of the different territories. And, Mean Gene was one of the guys that was brought in to sort of lend credibility to the WWF and give credibility to all the wrestlers. He had a really good mind for the world of professional wrestling on how to, carry an interview. He knew when basically to cut guys off, when basically to let guys keep going. He didn't want to butt in. Some people said that maybe sometimes Mean Gene was out to make himself a star, but I think that he really held it together for a lot of guys. And made, better promos for the guys that were out there. So Mean Gene, sadly, was one of the guys that I never got a chance to meet. He was on my list to try and meet for a few different accesses. One of the best chances I ever got to meet him would have been at WrestleMania 30 when they were doing a lot of publicity for Legends House, which was going to be coming out on the WWE Network. But, it didn't. It didn't end up happening. I think that when I went to the Legends House set at Access, I ended up meeting Pat Patterson and The Fink. But I never got a chance to meet him at a wrestler union or anything like that. But I've only heard good things about meeting him. And possibly one of the best things that ever came out of him was trying to find out that other side of what was going on with Mean Gene Okerlund with Legends House. We got to see him, sort of just sitting around the house, drinking, talking about playing golf. He tried to get in a little bit of shape there, working out with Teddy Atlas. He kind of was one of the guys that sort of was keeping peace in the house, but there was also times when just with Mean Gene, no fucks were given, and he didn't care what anybody did, just as long as they didn't mess up, his time. He was trying to cash that check at the end of the time. So, Mean Gene, possibly one of the biggest names there ever was in wrestling when it comes to non-wrestlers. And he sure will be missed, because I think that honestly, when it comes to promos in WWF, they don't really have, or I guess in WWE, they don't really have anybody to sort of guide these guys, because basically they're just told go out to the ring. They hold their own microphone. They just have to read a scripted promo. They don't have anything where they make up their own lines in the back. They're not told bullet points, get us to the pay-per-view. It's just somebody writes it for them, hands it to them, tells them to go out there, basically recite it. And it's possibly one of the reasons why wrestling isn't as good as it once was.